All right, let's talk Kubernetes. Have you ever just stared at your YAML file and thought, should this be a deployment, a stateful set, or maybe a DaemonSet? If that sounds familiar, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to break it all down so you can nail that choice every single time. Let's jump in.
It all really comes down to this one simple question. Because not all apps are created equal, right? Some apps are like goldfish. They have no memory. Others need to remember everything. And some, well, they need to be everywhere at once. We're about to see how Kubernetes has a perfect solution for each one.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at why we even have these different workloads. Then we'll meet our three key players: deployments, stateful sets, and DaemonSets. And we'll finish up with a side-by-side comparison and a super quick summary to lock it all in.
Okay, so why all the options? Why not just one way to run things? Well, it's because our applications have totally different needs. We're talking about their identity, how they handle data, and where they actually need to run in the cluster. Kubernetes gets this, and it gives us these specialized tools to manage each situation perfectly.
First up is the absolute workhorse of Kubernetes, the deployment. Seriously, if you're ever in doubt, this is probably your default. It's built for stateless apps. The best analogy? Think of them like line cooks in a kitchen. They're all identical, they're all interchangeable. Any one of them can flip the burger, and it doesn't matter which one does it. The two key words you have to remember here are stateless and identical. Stateless just means the app doesn't care about storing important data inside itself, inside the pod. So if a pod dies, no big deal. Kubernetes just spins up a brand new, identical one to take its place. And since all your important stuff is safe in an external database somewhere, nothing is ever lost.
And this is really their sweet spot. We're talking your front-end web servers, those back-end APIs, or pretty much any microservice that just crunches requests and sends back a response. These pods don't need a special name or identity. You just need, say, 5 of them running, and you want to scale that up to 50 during a traffic spike. That is a textbook case for a deployment.
Let's make this super concrete with a Node.js app. You tell Kubernetes, hey, I need 5 replicas of this thing. The deployment's whole job is just to make sure that 5 identical pods are running no matter what. One pod crashes, the deployment controller sees it, and bam, a new one is created instantly. Your users, they don't notice a thing because their data is safe and sound in that database. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's incredibly resilient.
But what if your app does need to remember things? What if it's not an interchangeable line cook, but more like a head chef, with a unique name, a specific station, and a memory of every order? Well, for that, you need a specialist. You need the stateful set.
So the most important word on this entire slide is guaranteeing. This is the big difference. A stateful set makes rock-solid promises. Every pod gets a stable, predictable name like DB-0, then DB-1, then DB-2. It gets its own personal chunk of storage that sticks to it like glue, even if it has to restart, and everything happens in a super strict, predictable order.
And this is exactly why stateful sets are absolutely critical for things like databases or message queues. I mean, you can't just have random database pods popping in and out of existence. A primary database has to know who its replicas are by name, and each of those replicas has to hold on tight to its own slice of the data. For these apps, a stateful set isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a must-have.
Check out this MongoDB example. The stateful set is so careful, so deliberate. It'll bring up Mongo 0 first, and it will wait. Only when it knows Mongo 0 is up and healthy will it even think about creating Mongo 1. And so on down the line. Now, if Mongo 1 happens to crash, it doesn't get replaced by some random new pod. No way. It comes back as Mongo 1, and this is the crucial part. It reconnects to the exact same storage it had before. Your data's safe. That, right there, is the magic of a stateful set.
All right, we've got our stateless apps and our stateful apps covered. But what about when you need a pod to run on every single machine in your cluster? Like literally all of them. Think of it like a security guard that needs to be posted at every single door of a building. For that kind of job, we have our utility tool, the DaemonSet.
The definition here is just beautifully simple. A DaemonSet's only job is to make sure one copy of your pod is running on every node in the cluster. And the best part? If you add a new node, the DaemonSet automatically puts a pod there. If you remove a node, the pod gets cleaned up. It's totally automatic.
And the use cases for this are all that essential under-the-hood infrastructure stuff. You need to collect logs from every single machine? That's a DaemonSet running your log collector. You need to monitor the hardware health of every node. You guessed it. That's a DaemonSet with your monitoring agent.
It's built for those critical background tasks that absolutely have to be everywhere.
Okay, so those are our three main players, the workhorse, the specialist, and the utility tool. Now, for the fun part. Let's put them all side by side to really drive home the differences.
This is it, the moment of truth. We're going to do a direct, feature-by-feature comparison that'll make choosing the right tool a total no-brainer from now on.
This table makes it all so clear, doesn't it? Just look at the trade-offs. For pod identity, deployments are random and interchangeable, while stateful sets are stable and predictable. For storage, you're choosing between temporary, shared storage with deployments or dedicated, permanent storage with stateful sets. And for scaling, deployments are all about speed, while stateful sets are all about being careful and ordered. And daemon sets? They're in a league of their own. They don't scale by number, they scale with your cluster. This table right here, this is your cheat sheet.
Whew, we've covered a ton of ground. So let's boil it all down into one single powerful summary. This is the answer you give in a job interview that proves you really know your stuff.
It honestly boils down to this simple rule. Is your app stateless? Use a deployment. Does it need a stable name and its own storage? StatefulSet, no question. And do you need a little helper running everywhere? That's a job for a DaemonSet. That's it. That's the core of it right there.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. The next time you start a project, think about what you're building. Is it a stateless API, a mission-critical database, an infrastructure agent? Because now you have the framework to confidently pick the right tool for the job every single time. Thanks for joining me.